The Rip City Drive.
And he joins us here on the Rip City Drive. Kelly, I love this tweet that you put out where you said, I'll admit to loving Oregon sports in a rather malleable manner. Honestly, my only true allegiance in any sport, and it's 100% and it's fierce, is the Portland MFing Trailblazers. Well said, my friend.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, look, if the Ducks are playing, if the Beavers are playing, the Timbers are playing, I'm all in. But in terms of like stopping stuff, I can't swear, can I, on this?
No,
right?
it'd be a good idea
No.
not to.
Okay. In terms of stopping stuff, in order to make sure I watch, I'm a Blazer fan. It's just, I bleed Blazer red and black, man. It's ever since I was 10, even before that, but when I was 10, I've told you the story, Dwight.
Yeah.
When we moved back with my dad, when he was elected to Congress, we moved back to D.C., in 75, and they won a year and a half later, and it was like 10-year-old boy being told by his home state and his home team that everything was going to be okay, and I was all in from that moment.
All right, this season has been at least surprising to us. I don't know about you, Kelly. What have you liked that you've seen this year out of your Blazers?
I like the energy. I like the youth. I think the hot start did two things. One great and one kind of not so great. And the not so great part was I think it inflated people's expectations. It inflated people's sense of how complete this team was. But what it did was give us a buffer for that stretch when they started to show their rustiness. They started to show their youth. Injuries took a toll. If you had told me before the season, once that schedule came out, which is one of the worst NBA schedules I've ever seen for the first part of the season.
Terrible.
If you had told me we'd be 2 games above 500, I would have taken it. And it's only because of that insane, beautiful, glorious start that we might feel a little disappointed. But it's the buffer. It's the reason why we are there.
You mentioned the youth. Shaedon Sharpe's been terrific. Surprises off the bench with Winslow and Drew Eubanks, and then Jeremy Grant. For you, what's been the most pleasant surprise on the team this year for an individual?
Pleasant surprise? Gosh, it's there's so many. I mean, I knew Grant would be a great fit. I had no idea he would be. This would be such a seemingly perfect spot for him. I'm knocking on wood as I'm saying this. So that was a surprise, even better than I expected, and I had high expectations. Justice Winslow developing into, dare I say it, Draymond Green light, and Shaedon Sharpe, of course. I think the camaraderie that's been built so quickly as well is something that I didn't necessarily expect. And it struck me that we talk about the camaraderie of the team every year. Every year we sort of express a little bit of surprise at how well this team gets along. And it makes me think maybe we really ought to, as much as we know Dame's a leader, a great leader, an all-timer in that category, maybe he's even better than we thought in terms of creating an atmosphere where people just pull for each other. I mean, those two Brooke Olzendam walk-off interviews when the whole team gathered around and were clowning for the camera. I mean, come on, that was joyous. It didn't seem like a professional team. It seemed like a college team. I don't know. There's something there that we should relish while we have it.
Well, there's a little more emphasis on defense than what we've seen in the past several years, too. You have to
think?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's great. And the effort. And even with the sloppiness, and there is sloppiness, and again, we're not going to be able to use this excuse for too long, but there's a lot of people who are new to each other still, a lot of youth. And so, but what's made up for a lot of that sloppiness, especially in that early run, and it seems to be starting to happen again, is that energy on defense and that energy, just the relentlessness. And I love seeing that. Even if it's not completely polished yet, it's the effort that is really, I guess, surprising. But it seemed like that was what Chauncey had been hoping for ever since he took the job here. People who could do that, people who were willing to really go in there and get that.
Okay, now I got to get to the good stuff here, Kelly. Once I found out.
Oh, that wasn't good? Oh, okay.
That's not the
Sorry, I
good
didn't bring
stuff.
my A material, Dwight.
No. It's not that it wasn't
No,
good. I got better stuff for you than that. Here's the deal. People don't know. You live in Brooklyn. You're a New York guy now, but you're in Southern California, and you're working on a very interesting film that I think NBA fans are going to be totally interested in. At the same time, you're taking red eyes back and forth to New York to work on the next season of Billions. You're racking up some frequent flyer miles, I'll tell you that.
I'm learning to catch sleep wherever I can as well. No, look, it's a great position to be in. I know how incredibly lucky I am right now. Billions continuing, and that's been my artistic and practical home essentially for the last 7 years, and I love those people. So I'm really thrilled that I get to continue with that. And this new gig, it's a gig about Donald Sterling and the Clippers and that whole fiasco, but it's a basketball show. And when my wife and I were watching Winning Time recently, she says, I turned to her and said, God, I gotta get a basketball show. And literally 2 weeks later, I had this job. So I was like, oh God, I guess I can manifest stuff. I gotta be careful what I say, what I put out in the universe.
Yeah. But this is
it's fun. Yeah,
it's called what? The Sterling Affair? Is that what it's called?
It's called The Sterling Affairs, plural. It's based on the Ramona Shelburne 30 for 30 podcast with the same name, which is a great podcast people should listen to. It's really fascinating.
Now, I saw the cast on this, and it sounds like a dynamite cast. Kind of run through that for us. Who's playing Donald Sterling?
Donald Sterling is Ed O'Neill,
and
he's devastatingly good. Yeah, he's as well respected as I know he is. I think people might sleep on how just good he is. He's a really great actor. He's doing a great job, and he's super fun to work with. Has insanely funny stories from back when he was in his 20s and 30s and doing regional theater, and his TV and movie career broke late. So we've commiserated over that because I'm the proverbial tortoise, my friends. Lawrence Fishburne plays Doc Rivers, and he's fantastic, and he's always been sort of an acting hero of mine. So it's been really fun to work with the two of them. Jackie Weaver is Shelley Sterling. She's brilliant. It's a really great cast.
And you're playing who?
I'm playing Andy Roser, who was the Clippers president during this period of time. And actually I think he worked for Sterling for about 30 years, actually, even before the Clippers.
Yeah. I'll tell you my Donald Sterling story. As a visiting writer going in there, the old stinky LA sports arena, he used to make the poor PR guy. The poor PR guy had to approach the visiting writers and take them at halftime over to meet Sterling because he just, for some reason, wanted to meet them. I guess maybe soften up his reputation if you've heard anything negative about him. But the poor PR guy used to say, I know you don't want to do this. I know, but geez, I'm going to get in trouble if I can't get you over there. Okay. All right. Here we go. So
okay, we'll go. We'll throw you a bone. Oh, that was good of you. Yeah, it was, I guess to put it mildly, it seems like it was a quirky time. He had a quirky tenure as the owner over there. But people know the story, I'm sure, at least the story of the scandal. But a lot of this behavior was going on for 20 years. It just wasn't caught on tape, and it wasn't, I guess, perhaps as overt with the team. So I'm really enjoying working on the script too. Gina Welsh is the showrunner, and the writing team is great. There's even one writer, Tracy Scott Wilson, who was with the Americans when I was there, so that's fun. But it's a great team of writers, and they're really creating something entertaining and fast-paced. And I know good writing. when I can memorize it easily. Does that make any sense?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
The better something is, the more it is like people speak, the more fun it is, the easier it is to memorize. And this has been, again, knocking wood, but this has been a breeze.
Now, Kelly, in a role like that, and of course you're a basketball fan, like what's the preparation like? Will you talk to former Clippers who are a part of the team when, Sterling was ousted as owner? Will you talk to people who covered the team? What's some of the prep work that you'll do just to get in a better state of mind for that role?
I had numerous conversations with Ramona, who had interviewed him, as well as everybody else. A lot of people went on the record for the podcast, including Shelley Sterling, actually. Some fascinating stuff. And spoke with people who had dealings with Roser on both sides, people with lesser or greater impressions of him, and tried to get a little bit of a sense of him that way. More than anything else, though, we're not trying to do impressions. So more than anything else, I'm taking my cues from the writers and the writing and what's on the page. But the colors, we can definitely, some of that research is for sort of shading in and nuances.
I just want to know if you have a scene in this that includes him walking his friends through the locker room so that they can see the naked players.
You're going to have to watch.
I had a feeling you might answer it that way. Yeah.
That's so great. Hey, Kelly, I heard you say once, and I respect you so much because I know you take your craft very seriously and you put a lot of time into it, but you said that acting is 90% listening, and I'm wondering if you can expand on that in terms of what you meant.
Yeah, it depends. If you're doing an incredibly stylized show, or if you're doing Shakespeare, then there are other things that go into it in terms of preparation and training. But there's training in all aspects of acting, all different styles. But what I mean by that is, no matter what you're doing, no matter how stylized, how naturalistic, people have to believe that you are having a conversation. If you're on stage and you've done 100 performances, you've done this one moment that's about to come up 100 times, you have to make the audience believe that you're experiencing this for the first time. And the way to do that is to train yourself to listen as ferociously as possible. And then you can receive this information that you've heard 100 times and 50 other times in rehearsal as somewhat new. And then you can react in a way that actually makes the scene look real. In terms of TV and film, especially TV, you get no rehearsal. Like literally, you run through it once, figure out the blocking, then you bring in the lighting people and the stage, the camera people, and you rehearse for blocking. You've already essentially locked in what you're going to do physically without much rehearsal. And all you can do is listen to and receive what the person is giving you and your acting partner is giving you, and react as spontaneously as you possibly can without worrying you're doing the wrong thing. You got to make strong choices. Some of the choices are going to be wrong, but that doesn't mean you're bad. Early on, when I would try something big, and a director might say, pull it back a little bit. Early on, I would think that meant, oh God, this guy's terrible. But with no rehearsal, you have to rely on result-oriented notes from the director and from people you're working with. Whereas in theater, that's sort of a no-no. In theater, you talk around it so that the actor can find his own language for how he's going to approach a scene. But that's because you have the benefit, the luxury of rehearsal.
All right, I'd be remiss if I didn't get to a question about Billions, one of my all-time favorite shows. But that show kind of got flipped on its tail when Damian Lewis had to leave, and it changed. And certainly, it seems to me your role diminished as Dollar Bill. And last season, I didn't see nearly as much of Dollar Bill as I wanted to. What about the upcoming season? Am I going to see more of Bill or not?
You are.
Yes.
I can't say any more than that, but you are. They because Bill was so loyal to Bobby, they called me and talked to me ahead of time, but it was decided that I would leave. I wouldn't stay with Prince. And I actually enjoyed the scene where everybody sort of kowtows and stays, and Bill's like, you know what, F this, I'm out. And started a business with the fee. But what happened, I was sad not to be around what had become my family as often. But what happened was I got to do about 5 or 6 other shows at the same time while still keeping my toe in there. I think I did 3 or 4 episodes of Billions, but I got to do Girl from Plainville, which was a Hulu show last year, which just today, by the way, if I can promote, just today found out we got a Critics' Choice nomination for Best Limited Series, which I'm thrilled about. Got to do that, got to do We Crashed, got to do the pilot for Endgame, a couple movies. It was great to be able to spread the wings again a little bit and remember that I'm not just a one-trick pony, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in disguise, and now it's nice to be able to be doing this new show and Billions as well, and more of Billions as well, even though I'm exhausted. All that flying.
All right,
but it's a champagne problem.
2 quick last questions. Number one, the Sterling show, is that going to be episodic on FX, or is that going to play once? How is that going to work?
6 episodes, 6 1-hour episodes.
Okay. All right. 6
and
hours.
It will not drop all at once. I don't believe it's dropping all at once. My understanding is it'll drop once a week for 6 weeks.
All right. And next question is, are you coming up here for Christmas? Are we going to see you at a Blazer game over Christmas?
Sadly, no. I was up there for Thanksgiving to see my parents. But my wife is from the Southern California. She's from the Pasadena area. So we were actually going to be out here house sitting for a friend in Santa Monica for a week. And then I got this gig, so she's actually going to be out here for three plus weeks. So we're taking this Christmas and holing up on the beach.
So I'm sure you're just going to a lot of Laker games.
I've been to a couple, and I was at the Blazer game, which was great, and then the Pacer game before that. And I posted this. Both of those games, the halftime half-court shot, the dude made it.
Yeah,
both games.
You're a good luck charm.
2 in a row. I'm a damn good luck charm. People got to take advantage of this power.
You need more credit for that, I think. That's impressive.
I think so, too. I just got to turn it somehow into Blazer victories.
Yeah,
there you go.
If you can do that, that would be a win. All right, he's busy working right now,
Yeah.
currently filming episodes of Billions and also this show that's coming up, The Sterling Affairs, which will be on FX. He's on Twitter at Kelly AuCoin77. Hey, Kelly, we appreciate the time. It's great to catch up with you, man. Rip City, baby.
You as well. Rip City. Absolutely.